This is my baby. My 2 babies. I have 2 babies. I'm like, oh, I love you guys. I do not do tough love. It's Sona Fixes Your Life. Hey guys, it's Sona, and this is Sona Fixes Your Life. So let's raise your kids. At Sarah J. Analeta says, is sleep a thing? If not, how do you deal? Coffee speed? I kid, but not a mom yet, so please fill me in. Sleep is a thing. I don't know. People were talking about how you don't sleep, and you don't sleep as much as you did before. I can operate on very little sleep, but I want to say that was the first few months, and then they start getting into this rhythm where they sleep for longer stretches of time, and before you know it, if you're lucky, you're doing okay. So yeah, sleep is a thing. People scared us. People were like, you're never gonna sleep again. And I'm like, I am. I'm sometimes sleeping, but also I'm lucky because my parents come and help a lot, and I would nap during the day. So sleep is a thing. It is a thing. You do sleep at some point. You can't not sleep. What are we going to do? Not sleep? That's crazy. No, you sleep. You just don't sleep as much. And you can't sleep in the way you used to. And you can't sleep the worst is when you start getting into a deep sleep and then they start crying. That sucks. But now my babies are sleeping a lot better. So I'm sleeping a lot better. It's a thing. You're welcome. You know what? You're welcome. At JD Mickelson says, what is the best product you bought as a new mom? There are things, oh my God, my bouncer. That's awesome. There's also this activity center where you just plop them in there and then they play with things, and that keeps them occupied for a long time. My mom had this thing that you put them in and they push it with their legs and they could go around. That keeps them, it's all what keeps them occupied. And oh my God, the formula maker. Oof. So I breastfeed and I also use a lot of formula. And for the longest time in the middle of the night, powder, water, you shake it and then you feed it. Now there's this formula maker I have where I just put the bottle underneath and press the button and it does it for me. And I'm like, was I living in the prehistoric ages before? What did I do? Why did I do that to myself? It's one of those things you wish you had earlier. Also the sleep suit that we have, the baby Merlin sleep suit that makes them look like they can't move and they're like this and they look like sumo wrestlers. That is clutch. Oh my God. I'll buy 80 of those. You're welcome. At Juggietto says, do you believe in tough love? Oh, I wish I could say yes. Tough love? Yeah, no. I believe in it. I believe it works for some people. I don't know. I can't do it though. I'm just very oh, I love you. That's me. Every day I'm just this is my baby. My 2 babies. I have 2 babies. I'm like, oh, I love you guys. I do not do tough love. I can't do it. I can't figure it out. But if you believe in it, that's cool. You're welcome. At VGWill50, are you irritated when Conan sends you pics of sushi without you? You look awesome. Thank you. Yes, I am very irritated. Although now I'm kind of back to doing the podcast, so I make him take me to sushi every time we record. So that's my way of getting back to him. And also when I go to sushi, even without him, I put it on the corporate card. All right, cool. You're welcome. And thank you so much for the compliment. That's really nice.